Well, I was looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984. Hello everyone, I am Random42, the one, the only, the original, still your favorite YouTube consumer advocate, Harpy. And if you guys do like my content,
please like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, keep your comments to yourself.
Brie-bombing on a Wonder Woman video, really? Well, I guess it's pretty much the same complaint I have with pretty much every other franchise nowadays. So it's when they put their partisan garbage in our entertainment. You know, what is wrong with going in to a movie or putting one on your TV, your computer, or wherever you're watching it, and just turning your brain off for 5 minutes, you know, to escape all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world, all of the weirdness, all the stuff that you're just tired of hearing. There's nothing wrong with that. And for people to feel that movies are mandatory, I do have a t-shirt that says they are absolutely not. They are not 100% mandatory just yet. And the fact that we still need a little bit of entertainment to decompress. It's like taking a nap or something. You're just resting your brain. You're trying to include and insert something a little bit happier, something a little bit more different than the same thing that you always constantly see. It helps break the psychological loop that people do tend to get stuck in when they only hear and see the same sort of thing and the same message over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about the clearly partisan affiliations of these movies and who I suppose their target audience is. It gets old. And what does that do? Well, that basically comes in and says that half of the country is not welcome at your movie because it is only for a specific set of people who think and feel a specific way. And they're not making this general anymore. They're not making it as simple as good guy versus bad guy. You know, they're not making that as simple as they need to. They're trying to insert all of these ideologies that, frankly, I'm tired of. And it always sends this message that they don't want some of the population watching these movies. It's exactly the same thing as, well, this.
I do not need a 40-year-old white dude.
No. It basically says, if you're a fan of this person, you're not welcome. And you know what? I don't care if you are or not. That's not the point of this video. My point isn't to lean one way or another. It's basically to say, I don't want any leanings in my films. I really, really don't. Because look at something like Star Wars, the original ones. It was basically just good guys versus bad guys who are corrupt and taking over everything and all this stuff. They're not good guys out there. Simple message. You didn't need to bash me over the head with, oh, but it's about this and this thing, and Wonder Woman 1984 will feature parallels between the Orange Man and their villain Maxwell Lord, and the main enemy is capitalism. All right, so money's bad. Okay, so they seem to think that money am bad all of a sudden. If you really, really think that money is that bad, I mean,
we'd like some money.
I know where else you can send it.
Yeah, money. Money is cool.
And what's going to happen with this message that, hey, money's bad? Well, when people don't go and see these, what's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to cry and complain, and they're going to go, you didn't see my movie, you didn't see... You said money's bad. You said money's bad, and anybody who likes money is bad and not welcome, apparently. A new report details that director Patty Jenkins and actress Gal Gadot's upcoming Wonder Woman 1984 will feature parallels between the Orange Man and the villain is actually capitalist. You know, I'm not one to want to censor or silence this, but when you're trying to give me a mainstream blockbuster movie that's supposed to be kind of for everybody doesn't care about this stuff.
Call me a killjoy, but I think that because this is not to my taste, no one else should be able to enjoy it. I'm all over that.
Everybody's pretty much tired of it. I know I don't want to be Marge Simpson and say you can't say this, obviously, but make a documentary about how much you don't like the Orange Man. And, you know, maybe remember that entertaining movies are there to entertain us. They're there to take our everyday problems away for a little bit. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong, but, you know, they don't like money, despite Wonder Woman being in a giant, shiny, golden costume, which actually looks pretty cool. And the imagery looks pretty cool. Gal Gadot looks pretty cool. Even everything I've seen of Kristen Wiig kind of looks pretty cool, even though I'm not a big fan of Kristen Wiig's or a fan of hers at all. I was looking forward to this until you're saying, yes, it's going to be about these partisan things. And speaking with Collider on a visit to the film set, because, you know, media that gets access to the films, well, we have a name for those people. Jenkins compared the film's time period to the current day, claiming that the United States is paying for the price for the sins of the 1980s. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Why is the 1980s in such high demand right now? Why am I using Elisa Frank Trapper Keeper as my background lately when I could very well just drop the green screen and bring up my office, which is all Godzilla and Baby Yoda? Because the 80s are cool and they're fun, and they were a time when everything was going pretty well. Things were okay. People were kind of getting along for the most part. I know I was a kid and I just remember stuff like Showbiz Pizza, but I didn't mind the 80s. And there's a fact that since everything and their brother is trying to be Stranger Things, even Ghostbusters, the new one, that's trying to do away with that whole, oh, if you don't like this, you don't like Wham and re-message. What are they doing? They're bringing in one of the kids from Stranger Things. It's so popular right now. Everything is trying to be Stranger Things right now. Everything. Because the 80s are fun. And to, at the same time, trend hop onto the 1980s while basically bashing it, that leaves a very bad taste in my mouth. Jenkins told Collider it was particularly the 80s because of the fact that it was the height of everything we're paying the price for. She continues, it was like we thought for sure it could go on forever, and there was going to be no price, and you could just have exponential growth. Then it could keep going, and all of this excess. And so I think that we're in that way talking about then, and we're also talking about right now. We're talking about what we're dealing with right now because of the struggle, because that struggle is very much alive in our own psyche. See, I like this costume. I like the lighting on this. This looks so much more bright than the Superman, Batman, Justice League stuff. This looks so much more like something I want to see and sit through and watch. Except now you're telling me that if I like money, that I guess I just need to be taught a lesson, right? The associate producer would hint at why they chose the year 1984 for the film's title. She notes it was the peak of America's power and its pride. Yeah, I remember the 1984 Olympics, the McDonald's stuff. And here's the thing. They're acting like this is more of an economic movie. And I don't really want to sit through an economics lecture, especially of people who say, hey, money's bad. I'm like, I'm sorry, my landlord doesn't really take good intentions and ideologies. You know, they take money. Guess what? McDonald's takes money. The grocery store takes money. You were paid money for this film, so, you know, just stop. Maybe don't insert this ideology that you might not understand. And Bropta, I'm saying your name correctly, I apologize, would add, it was humanity at its best and at its worst. Oh, I love the 80s. I absolutely adored it. When asked whether it referred to George Orwell's famous novel, producer Charles Roven responded, we should have that conversation after you've seen the film. Well, that's vague and doesn't tell us anything at all. Collider's Nick Romano would go on to report that the real enemy of the film is capitalism. All right, so they don't want you to go and see the movie, I suppose. He writes, who's the villain of this next chapter? Well, there are multiple antagonists, but the real enemy, one might argue, is capitalism. As for the villains outside of capitalism, if it hasn't been obvious before, there are Maxwell Lord, played by Pedro Pascal from Mandalorian, and Cheetah, played by Kristen Wiig. Also, shout out to Bounty into Comics, that's who pulled up this article. Romano described Pascal's Lord as the king of phony infomercials. Wait, so the bad guy is Ron Popeil? What did a pocket fisherman ever do to you? Did you buy the food dehydrator and it not work, or you realize that you didn't like dried banana chips without all that sugar in them? So you're mad at Ron Popeil? Are you kidding me? Oh, what? We're doomed. We're doomed as a society. If people are chasing after dreams of wealth and power and fame, then Max is selling those dreams. So he's a pyramid scheme top tier guy then. The associate producer describes his character as a desperate, self-obsessed, fraudulent entrepreneur who runs a business selling the American dream. So you're just mad at the phonies then, because I got news for you. There's a lot of people who could make that argument against you. Oh, and they're better equipped than me, because you know me, I don't do politics ball. As for Barbara Minerva, also known as Cheetah, Romano explains, she is beguiled by this illusion and eventually corrupted by it. He later adds, she falls victim to one of Max's schemes. At first look, it's a dream come true. She adds that she feels physically stronger. She feels more seen and respected in the world. Well, that's because probably she just put on some shoulder pads in the 1980s and a red blazer. That's what they usually did. Just stand out in the 1980s. But her power takes a fast, very dark turn as she transforms into this vicious and savage creature like nothing we could have ever imagined. This almost sounds like they took parts of that Halle Berry Catwoman movie. just a few. As for Diana's reaction to this, Gal Gadot explains she's seen all the bad things that are being done in order to get to the top. I think she doesn't like that so much. The price that people are willing to pay in order to achieve whatever it is they want to achieve. But other than this, I think that Diana loves the 80s. Great hair. She's rocking the hairstyles, and it's great. So Gal Gadot's response is much more diplomatic and much less partisan. Interestingly enough, Romano would describe these bad things as greed, providing evidence that his initial description of the film's main villain as capitalism is actually greed. Two different concepts. And then he would detail the film has parallels to The Orange Man. Oh, blah, who cares? He makes a connection while referencing a meeting with the film's costume designer, Lindy Hemming. He writes, expect parallels between Max and Orange Man. Photos of the fired reality star with a trail of bankruptcy filings adorn costume designer Lindy Hemming's workspace. Oh, so she's obsessed. With the costume designer. No, the costume designer is obsessed with the Orange Man. Oh, gee, I got it wrong. I got so exasperated by this that my brain just switched off mid-sentence, and I'm like, ugh, my brain is just falling out of my head. Is it time? Is it time?
What are they? Why are they? What do they mean?
I think it's time to go back to the crop circles, go back to the fields and wait for the aliens to land, because really, if your costume designer is obsessed with a reality show star who happens to be in the office of, the country and stuff that you're trying to appeal to, you do know that some people probably liked him, I guess. I mean, I don't deal in this stuff, and I don't understand why people are so obsessed. But, maybe that's because I like entertainment and fun things like video games and things that aren't, obsessing over politics ball. Hemming also notes the parallels exist. She tells Romano that Lord's costumes are inspired by the Orange Man's. Well, that's helpful to look at, isn't it? There's something about the period of the Orange Man being a businessman and being rather sleazy and a little bit and a bit goofy and a lot of talk, so that's why he's there. But there's more to it. I ought to just... Romano claims she doesn't finish her sentence. Romano would return to Jenkins' initial comments as she detailed that the film might be set in 84, but it's really about what's happening right now. Oh boy, where have we heard that one a million billion times before?
White male rage, white male rage, white male rage.
Hey, I guess the media got what they wanted when they were trying to rile people up with the Joker, didn't they? I'm tired of this crap in my entertainment, and you know what? I can go play video games and get away from this stuff. Follow me on Twitch or check your notifications for my late night gaming streams. I've been playing Fall Guys, I've been playing Wheel of Fortune. I've actually been enjoying my time, not obsessing with, the stuff that might make these people and cry like a bunch of crazy people. I am Mecha42, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.